Yo, what up, Kang?
Yo, Seabear, what's up, man?
What you on, man?
I think we should get to work.
What you got in mind, man?
I think you know what we need to do.
Welcome to the Kang Seabear Show.
Could not have had that latte. I'm all like
A little phlegmy.
a little phlegmy.
Yeah, milk was a bad choice. We're in
But
a
it was-
podcast case of emotions.
It was delicious though.
It was. Shout out to Nervous Dog. It's an OG coffee shop here in Ohio. I think there's only 3 of them, but never fails.
Order the White Wizard. They'll be blown away that you know what it is.
Yes, they will. And then they'll blow you away. But now we have our tea, our vocal concoction here.
Cheers.
Oh, yes. Cheers. Ooh. Oh, tastes like goblin piss.
Like a fucking moldy scrotum.
Ooh, my favorite. We also have a little bit of a morning delight. What was it? It was plum blueberry.
Plum blueberry.
Plum blueberry from another local Akron brewing company.
Brewed.
Yeah, acronym. Let's plug them right here. Here's the bottle. Don't forget it.
Thanks, acronym.
Thank you.
And thank you to John, or as Jackson calls him, Mike.
You want to tell people about that little
No.
experience?
We were just sitting there having a couple beers in the middle of the day of recording a music video. Jackson needed to pee and we were near the brewery, so we stopped in, grabbed a beer. Started talking to the bartender, John, lovely guy,
Great
recommended
guy.
some good stuff, turned us onto this thing. And we're paying for the beers on the way out, and he's like, "See you guys later. Thank you so much." And Jackson just goes, "Yeah, thanks, Mike."
You look like a Mike.
He did kind of look like a Mike, like
right.
Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, John is too generic. I was like, he's got a little flair. Oh, that poor guy. He's probably still going, that son of a bitch.
Yep. You'll never go there again.
You will never disrespect me again.
Oh, are we robots now?
I believe we have transitioned.
Into our topic today
Yes.
on the Kang and Seabear Show,
Welcome back.
episode 4.
I can't believe we made it this far.
Made it this 4.
4?
4!
Oh, last night. 4. What do you...
Oh my God. Yes. So the troubles of recording, if one thing sounds off, it's really hard to fix sometimes. There was a line that I had recorded a couple days ago that we had listened back after Jackson recorded his verse to the whole song. And I realized that there was a part where I was saying the word "for," but it kept coming out like "for."
4.
And so it took like another 30-40 minutes of re-recording that line to get it to sound right again. And
Don't
that's
you
just
mean-
frustrating?
Don't you mean 30 or 40
minutes?
Oh, no, yeah. It's always those little things.
Yes.
It's like one word or two, and you're like, wow, you little hornet.
It makes all the difference.
Does.
There's an old track where I do that too, which I actually left it in because it's funny if you hear it, where I'm like, what does it go? As we grow up, the dreams still feel like a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You know, speaking of yesterday, good job. Great job, man.
yes. No.
That was fantastic.
The hats go off to you for yesterday. That was all you.
No.
We finally
No.
broke through Jackson's writer's block and knocked out 3 songs in like, what, 8 hours?
Yeah. Which seems like not a lot, but given
It's
the
a lot.
nature of it, I guess that's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I mean, we got those other songs in motion, so that was a great day.
It was.
Yeah, getting over that felt good. Now, like the rest of the time, it's like, okay, we got this.
A little more relaxing.
Yeah, for sure. And those songs,
They sound so good.
I'm still cheeky.
Very excited.
We've been dancing around listening to them. Like, this is gonna be, these are gonna be some hits. So yeah.
Can't wait to show everybody.
But anyways, back to our initial programming. My booty hole will not work unless my batteries are fully charged.
All right.
So our topic today, kind of bouncing off last week with the idea of troubles with creativity and the process that's involved in that. What are the pros and cons of the world moving into a more artificially intelligent form of creativity?
Wow. That's a broad question for sure. And if I had to answer it, I'd like to preface up front. I haven't really investigated this that much.
Oh, me neither. I just know what I've seen on social media and, reading little articles here and there.
Right. So a lot of my opinions are going to be based around how I feel about it rather than what are the facts.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming at us too quick, anyways.
Yeah.
It's a lot to digest, and it doesn't really matter who's doing it because either way, it's happening.
Yep.
And I think it's best to adapt with it.
Mhm.
And for people like us, other creators, other artists, it's intimidating to think that something can generate, final compositions or renderings of whatever it is in a matter of seconds.
Mhm.
And it far surpasses, any level of artistry that could take someone 30, 40 years to just get to. So yeah, it stings a little. But at the same time, it's kind of like saying print is dying. Sure, in a lot of formats, right? But I think people will always want to buy books.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a need for both. And I think that artificial intelligence is going to serve a lot of industries, especially because the pace at which society's moving is just quicker. And it's cost efficient. Of course, people are going to lose their jobs. But at the same time, there'll always be a need for that human touch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think human beings, if you look throughout history, one thing we always do is make sure that our existence is paramount, that we are the ones who control this, right?
Yep.
But I don't know. I think right now it's just fun for a lot of people. And I think the bigger issues might come later. But then again, in 20, 40 years, I think looking at it in terms of medicine, like science and technology, there probably are a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
100% in some quantum way. Even computers right now are starting to shift out of binary systems to quantum systems, right?
Sure.
Well, I was listening to this thing the other day, sorry, but it's pretty fascinating. And in a sense, I feel like it's kind of similar where that's heading. There's just going to be a need for it. I think it'll benefit us a lot. And then I think it's going to hinder creativity a lot. It's going to give a lot of people potentially a false sense of self. But again, I'm not sure. But as an artist personally, I don't really agree with it in our world. I think it takes away, the jobs we work so hard for and the craft and the discipline we've acquired. So it's just a mixed bag for me, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't want to say too much and sound stupid, or like radical. I'm not like, tear them down,
Right.
the fucking Terminator's coming. Give me your clothes, then I'll be
we're one
afraid.
step closer to that. We all know it.
Yeah, we are. We're all going to be grabbing the chain link fence like Sarah Connor. Just fucking won't even matter.
I agree with what you said. You pretty much covered it all right there anyway.
I'm a son of a bitch. Maybe I am artificial intelligence.
I think there's definitely the drawbacks of, how is art if there's no human aspect to it? If it's all just pre-calculated and pre-programmed stuff just being belched out onto a paper, like, is that even art? I don't think so, but I see it from a point where there are good things about it too, like using it more as a tool than anything else. I was watching a video about like how to use the chat GPT the
That's
other
right.
day.
You did a good amount of work on that last night.
And the guy was saying like, here's all the prompts you could ask it and stuff. And there's definitely ways to use it in a way that it's more like helping you through the brainstorming. So you can kind of like speed up that side of things.
Right.
Using it as more of a tool than as a crutch.
Absolutely.
I do feel like a lot of people, especially in this age of, I'm just going to say music specifically, where we've already moved to a point where anybody can make a song and throw it up on SoundCloud.
Of course.
Which is why the music industry is oversaturated with just garbage. Because people who don't have actual, like, I would say real talent are putting their stuff out there. And it's not like how it used to be where, we've only got so much tape so we can't waste it on somebody who's not worth wasting it on.
That's a good point.
Um,
And sorry if that stings, but there's a lot of truth there.
it's true, and
It's true.
I'm victim of it. I look back at some of my old recordings, and I'm like, this is terrible, and no one should have been subjected to this.
Yeah.
But I look at it also like the music program I use to record our stuff and everything I've used in the past. I have a couple like AI plugins that help the creative process just run a little quickly or more quickly in terms of stuff where it's like, oh, I recorded this vocal, but there's extra room noise. Like I throw on this plugin that can detect that room noise and mute only that. And it helps to kind of speed that part up, because sometimes when you're creating and you're trying to work around all that stuff, it can slow you down and pull you out of that creative mind space.
Right.
And if you can use the AI stuff as more of a tool to speed up your workflow, I think that's great. But obviously, again, don't rely on it completely.
No, and you know what? You make a really good point there. And I think when there's any gradual or rapid shift towards something like this, a lot of it comes down to human responsibility. Like you just said, it is a benefit in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those moments where you're like, yeah, maybe I should use it for these things. A little more technical, a little more trivial. But if you're against AI as a whole taking over, then just limit your usage of it, right?
Right.
Like
And
you
if-
said, I mean, in Photoshop even, the content-aware features of it have improved vastly over the past 2 years.
Mhm.
Now, content-aware is like, let's say I want to cut you out of this background. That used to take a lot of time, or if you're really good and you do it all the time, the pen tool's great. But now they have functions where it's like, click, and it can get rid of most of it, if not all of it.
And then
Like,
you just kind of touch it up afterwards.
yeah, sometimes you don't need to. And that's the cool thing. Like, sure. And that, in my world, like when you're working with other artists, maybe they didn't do such a good job in pre-production. The lighting wasn't set right enough. So, but even like speeding up that, yeah, sure, why not? I don't think there's any harm there, especially for me. I mean, I mastered the pen tool. Like, I feel like if I want to use that, like, cool.
Well, see, that's where I think it should happen. If there was some way to regulate, like, you're not allowed to use these until you know how it works, at least generally.
Yeah.
Like, you need to earn the AI. You need to at least use it in a way that you could do it yourself if you didn't have it.
Exactly.
Where it's like, I know how to equalize stuff, but if I can just throw that on my drums real fast and then move on, cool. Instead of spending, 8 hours throwing EQs on a snare.
Absolutely. And that's the shitty part too, though, because that's how we feel. But the people that on the more financial side of this, our existence,
They just
see
want it
that
quick.
they'd be like, "Fuck you!" Like, shut up.
How can we make money faster?
Yeah, and then sure, that makes sense, but really being a humanist, I'm struggling with this AI thing and where it's going. But like I said earlier, human beings adapt
Mhm.
and they survive and they overcome. And if you don't, I mean, that's evolution's choice, but I know that I wouldn't let it interfere with me too much. And I'd fight back if I felt like it, but then also maybe find some common ground.
I think it'll be good once we get to the point where we can have Osimo making all the movies in Hollywood.
Adam Sandler falls in love with a coconut.
But the coconut already loves a banana.
Oh, genius. Did that robot just fart?
My fart functions.
Throwing it out to South Park again.
Well, we love
Let's cheers to that. South
Cheers
Park
to-
is the
cheers to
greatest
South
show.
Park. Been a huge source of inspiration.
We'd love to have Matt and Trey on the show.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, you guys can come take it over for all we care.
And we'll just sit in the back and watch you do your thing.
We'll be like, fucking sweet.
We've watched a lot of it since you've been here.
I know. I think we've gone through at least like a season and a half almost.
Yeah, no, it's been good.
It's been great.
I typically fall asleep about halfway through the first episode, but
That's just classic Jackson.
classic Jackson.
All right. So now we're going to kind of demonstrate how this AI stuff works. Jackson, if you will talk for a minute while I get this all set up.
So essentially last night, Zach and I were speaking about, all right, how are we going to make this song for the album? And Zach had the initial idea. He's like, all right, let's use Chat GPT, right?
Mhm.
Have it write these verses for us. And then the human part of it will obviously be the music Zach created. And the chorus will come from us. But the rhymes it was producing,
Unreal.
unreal.
Like literally unreal.
Yeah, they are good. It's like, wow. But like you said in the car when we were getting coffee this morning, you're like, but still,
It lacks the heart. It's very technical. It's
Yeah.
very proficient in its usage of vocabulary and the rhyme schemes. But there's no human aspect, obviously.
yeah. And that might just be the veil, hopefully.
And it's like
Never
even
cross that threshold.
even something as simple as after I had it spit out the lyrics, I had to go in and kind of revise ever so slightly for it to fit the rhythm a little bit better, because I don't know if necessarily I just didn't prompt it right, but the rhythm of some of these was not right. And I think that's part of human aspect of it. We have rhythm in our bodies
Yeah.
just kind of naturally.
And although we think it's perfect or linear, it's not,
Mm-mm.
right? Like if you zoomed in onto the edge of a table, it's not as smooth as it appears.
Mhm.
Up close, it's this organic, granule landscape, kind of like the way we feel things through music.
Yeah.
And you're right. I don't think maybe in 1,000 years, AI will just become,
Human.
you know,
When we reach the point of the singularity and we transfer our consciousness into machines.
yeah. But you know, I just want to say this, just to really zoom out and really look at all this, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem real.
It doesn't. And especially it's I feel like it's been the last year that it's really just been
Yeah.
happening so fast.
And just to be a human right now, and it's like, wow, the universe is already enough to
Mhm.
contemplate, you know, mixed with a very confusing and contradicting lifestyle that we've lived.
Yep.
Amidst the beauty, not understanding things really. And now it's like, oh, you all might be replaced in a lot of ways that made you useful.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a little scary, but you know, philosophy's philosophy.
Yeah.
It can be really good, bad, whatever. All
But,
right,
So what we're gonna do here today is we're gonna be interviewed by Chat GPT about
Uh-huh.
what we've been doing here. So we'll just let's see. Ask me 10 questions about creating music. Any other qualifiers we want to throw in there? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to be interviewed by Chat GPT.
Oh,
Let's go ahead.
does she have red hair?
I hope so. Does the carpet match the mainframe?
Does the software match the hardware?
Give me 10 questions to ask in an interview with musicians. Enter. And it's already working. There it goes. It's responding. Got 3
Oh
questions
my gosh,
down.
look at that.
All happening in real time here. Fucking crazy.
Fucking nuts.
Well, the thing, as I was watching the video about this shit will remember things that you've asked it before.
So it starts to build a database around
It builds a context about what
Right.
conversations you've had with it, which I think is just like
It's like
absolutely-
human cookies, like the internet uses, right?
I want some
Tracks
cookies
your
now.
I want some cookies too.
Okay. We'll start this out. How did you first become interested in music, and what inspired you to pursue it as a career?
Here, since our alarm interrupted us, can you ask me one more time?
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is going to be a very rough cut. So, how did you first become interested in music, and what inspired you to pursue it as a career?
I remember being in 4th grade, and that was when music class was first introduced to us. They said you can play violin, or you can play the flute. And I was like,
All they gave you was those two options?
it was, you've seen Akron, school systems, they aren't the greatest. But it was nice. We had something. It was almost like a movie. Like these poor kids get a violin and it changes their life, dude.
Like the soloist, but for children.
Essentially. But no, so I started playing violin. And, I got to say this up front, too. I'm really grateful that my parents always played a healthy balance of classic music. And by that, I mean like the greats, the stuff we all know, like rock and roll, all that stuff. So I always grew up hearing that, which was always fascinating. But it was when I got into music class that I really was like, oh, I think this is the person I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really understand what that meant at 9 years old, but I was good. My teacher said, "You're really good." And it felt good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So next year, they moved us on to orchestra, started playing trumpet, and just fell in love with that. And then I stuck with it. But I remember in 8th grade, the 8th grade band class played like a winter concert.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard the drummers like playing. I remember sitting there and I was like, oh, fuck, like I want to do that. So I got all obsessed, kind of like we talked about last time. It came all about drumming. And then my dad got me How the West Was Won, that Led Zeppelin
Yeah.
DVD series. And I remember seeing John Bonham do Moby Dick, which I know that's cliche, but like that is the moment you're like, damn, I want to be a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that. And from there, it just kind of spiraled into all that.
Nice.
And at some point, I was like, whether or not it's actually like a career in writing, it's something that I'll do the rest of my life.
Right.
And then meeting you really pulled that hip hop desire out of me. We all have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll admit, being a white male, like you get a little timid, but but that's not what it's about. It's all inviting. So that's kind of how it happened.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think for me, it was fairly similar. I played cello in school.
Hello.
Which was awesome. And I still think one of my greatest regrets is not keeping up with that, because I think cello is one of the most beautiful instruments. Every time I hear it in a song, I instantly love that song. But I remember specifically one of the biggest influences on me wanting to do something in music with my life was the 5th grade talent show. I really wanted to perform something in this, but I didn't want to just sit up there and play the cello by myself, because that just sounds weird. But
Like, who's this sad fucking kid?
but I was really into Harry Potter at the time, and my mom bought me like the Harry Potter soundtrack music book, and I would like play along with it, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a couple weeks and learn how to play it on the piano, which I had never played piano before. And so I kind of had my mom tell me like how to read the keys on the piano and where everything was. And I spent weeks just like reading the book and like memorizing it like bar by bar until I finally mastered playing through this song completely. And I went and did the talent show, and I just remember getting up there and feeling so nervous that I was going to mess it up. But I played through it like pretty much flawlessly. Not to toot my own horn, but like it was pretty good, especially for somebody who's never played piano before. And I remember just like that rush of first coming onto the stage and being scared, and then sitting down, and then the second you start playing, you just fall right into it. And you've done this already a million times. You know how it goes, and then you finish, and then everybody claps, and you're like, thank you, like this is awesome, and then you leave. And then after that, my mom came up and she's like, I'm just like so amazed. She's like, I played piano for like 10 years when I was a kid and never played a song that perfectly. And that just was like, I think this is what I should do. Of course, I'm a lazy piece of shit and never really put in the time to like master an instrument, but I've kind of found a way around that to where I'm pretty proficient in a bunch of different instruments, enough that I could improvise something over a couple tries. And then obviously I work with the music programs now. And so I've kind of been mastering that as a way to work around not necessarily being an incredible musician myself, but I can still create stuff that sounds cohesive and is well produced. And that's, that's basically the whole reason why I do it.
Yeah. And I have to say, no, you're pretty incredible. Yeah, it's Maybelline. You were born with it. I'm telling you. No, after meeting you, hearing all your songs, even from then until now, it's just kind of like one of those Steve Jobs situations. Like you could have stayed in college. Yeah, sure, you could have studied the theory and all those things, which is cool. In certain realms, that is respected. But I think for the things you create, especially everything coming from your soul all the time, it bled through the instruments and through the programs. So I don't know, man. You make pretty touching stuff, and not always in a like cheesy way. Like even the funny, serious stuff, it's good.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate it.
yeah, of course, you're born with that, man. Like for sure. It's funny though, hitting back on that. When you're in the performing arts of school, you get filled up. And then you get out into the world and you're playing music and everyone's like, fuck you, you suck.
Everybody's just angry with each other.
Yeah, no one comes to your shows. There's no more clapping. It's hard.
Really hard to find like the people that will support you.
Yeah, and isn't that just life,
It fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's like
it's all
you
just
go to
jealousy and anger.
Yeah. It's rough out there.
So I respect of it. I'll hear people that are good. I'm like, man, fuck you guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ugh.
All right, what's question number 2?
Question number 2. Can you describe your musical style or genre and how you developed your unique sound? I think let's keep this specific to what we're doing right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my musical style, obviously, I like to write big worded raps, right? Some BWRs. Word. Obviously, that was inspired by the hip hop music I listened to growing up. I love Outkast. I love Atmosphere, People Under the Stairs, Living Legends. Deltron is one of my favorites. And, if you're familiar with their music, it's a little more poetic in a way. Call it romantic, if you will. And there's a lot of metaphorical devices. There's a lot of trickery and like, I always found that so fascinating. And I was like, oh, if I were to ever do this, that's what I'd want to sound like. And of course, I love all the other stuff, right? That's a little like simpler, a little harsher. But as a creator, I think it's fun to tell stories that way, metaphorically. That's our, whole nature. So it's funny up front, I was like, I'm just going to go all at it. I'm going to freestyle. I'm going to really embody the Seabear, that alter ego I've created. And yeah, he just fucks up. But mid-song, he doesn't care, and he'll just keep going. And that's just it. Because it's all new, it is supposed to be that way in my mind. And now where we're at today, sitting down to write, I've been faced with so many challenges, as you saw, trying to put that emphasis back into it. So now it's like, wow, you told the same shit, just you did it a little different this time. And yeah, I definitely grew up. I changed. Like, I don't want to do that all the time anymore. So yeah, I think where we're at today on this album specifically, this is some of the best stuff I've ever done with us.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm definitely in a similar boat. I think a lot of my hip hop history is definitely a little bit less than yours. I didn't get into it really until like my senior year of high school. Before that, I really didn't like it at all. And I was definitely a lot more influenced by like the emo pop punk scene.
And Garth Brooks.
Fuck Garth Brooks. So that's really where I come from. I try to be as wordy as I can with, using fancy words and metaphors, but I really think that my writing style draws more from like the emotional side of stuff. I got a lot of fucking problems, mostly all up in my head. And so it's really the only way to kind of spew that out and stop things going wrong up here. I
Yeah.
just put it on the page.
There you go.
You know, I try to throw as much emotion into it as I can. And especially nowadays, I've tried to look at music more as not a commodity, but a thing to be shared. And like, you know, these songs are mine, but I also want to write something that can make sense to everybody.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the older I get, the more I realize, you know, the problems that I have, everybody has them. Everybody feels the same way that I do at some point or another. And I try to use words in a way to be universal.
Yeah.
Where it's like anybody can listen to this and be like, yes, I know exactly how that feels. And I'm here for you.
Nice.
And I'd like to put that out to everybody out there too. Like, I'm here for you.
And that's hard. It's hard to generate a message like that. And you know what? I'm glad you elaborated on that because I didn't even hit on that. But I've obviously noticed that in your work. And again, on this album we're making right now, I try to do that too. I was like, all right, let's both generate something we think everyone can get. And it's been hard, but damn, it's been rewarding.
Yes, it has.
Oh, yeah.
Here, I don't want to go through all these because this might take fucking
Yeah,
forever.
why don't we just jump to the end?
Let's find one more to do.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The last question. Looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for your music career? Are there any specific milestones or achievements you hope to reach in the future?
There's one that I have.
Oh, yeah?
Remember yesterday when we were down in the basement and we put on the intro song? And every time the chorus comes up, you and I pretend we're on a big stage. We're doing this and we're singing that chorus. That's it. All that other stuff that would come with it, of course, I would love to only do this. And the other things we love.
Right.
And all those other things, right? Great. But it's just those little moments. I just want to be like moving people. I want to be a force in nature. I want people to come see us and like sing along with us.
Right.
I want to see that a massive crowd. Like
The energy.
yeah, you know, it's almost cosmic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a planet. Like I want shit to revolve around us, and not from an egotistical standpoint, but because we write meaningful things, and it's a community.
Everybody deserves that moment too.
Yeah, and then I want to have like a downfall. I want to become a binge drinker and a cokehead, and I want to be on tabloids, and I want to fall down in public
And then have your redemption story.
and have a fucking redemption story. I want to get into fistfights at Circle K. You know, the good
Jesus.
times. Just kidding. But yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, it's just I want to hang out with you and fucking make good music, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think for me, I would love to get to a point, obviously, where this week has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I've loved every second of this through all the ups and downs and like the creative inspirations and the creative frustrations. I love every second of this. It's nice to just not worry about anything else and just focus on the music, focus on the creativity. I want to get to a point where like I could literally just buy a house like this and turn it into the creative space that I never leave, and I become just a crazy old hermit that nobody talks to.
You have like one of those uneven robes on at all times.
But damn, he makes some good music.
Look like Rick Rubin. Fucking,
So that's for me. That's the goal. I wanna do this every day.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to step into a fucking restaurant again in my life
no,
unless I get to be the asshole that wants to have a perfect brunch.
that's right.
But other than that, I do have this one vision of like this is my moment of I've made it, and like if I can hit this, I don't ever have to touch a fucking keyboard again in my life. I want to be interviewed on Hot Ones.
Oh,
If I could get onto that show and eat those spicy wings
I'd love to.
and cry and just work through the pain, just like I do with my music, that's my moment. That's my aspiration right there.
You know, it's interesting you say that. My brother and I were talking about this a few months ago. We were like, you know, that's like the new pinnacle of human achievement.
Seriously.
To be on that show.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah. Can we
That's all
both
it's
go
about.
on, though, as
Oh,
the
yeah.
metaphor? I don't want to take your shine, okay? But I think we could both
We'll do it.
give Sean Evans a run for his money. He's a fantastic interviewer.
I actually met him once.
He's from Chicago, right?
I think he is.
Yeah.
But I saw him just out and about at a restaurant and I was just like, hey, like big fan. He was super nice about it. Like not all weird about people coming up to him.
Oh, I'm sure.
Really down to earth guy.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's my dream. I
Dude.
want to be on Hot Ones.
You know what? That was good. I like that.
But yeah, you know.
They make us rap.
Oh God.
To bomb.
My mouth is on fire.
I'm fucking crying.
I can't stand this shit. And
Mommy
I'm just
milky.
crying. Sean Evans, why you got me lying?
He's like, guys, don't touch your eyes. What?
Oh, but that's it right there. You know, I think every creative person wants to do it all the time.
Oh yeah.
As much as like you don't want to think about it as a job, but who doesn't want to make something that's special to them and then get paid for it?
And just get to be a wild animal about it,
Mhm.
in a sense, because it's funny. You ask a lot of people that question, and sure, like everyone has their own unique goal, but realistically, when people ask me, I'm like, man, I just want to live in a tree, befriend some squirrels, and not have responsibilities other than
What about all the spiders though?
harmonious survival. Maybe I would adapt. No, I wouldn't. Fuck spiders, man.
Yeah, never
That
liked
brown
them.
recluse in the basement.
It's still down there somewhere.
Oh, dude. That's the from South Park.
The giant.
The Queen Spider.
says, "Do not change Catholic law."
Yeah. What about the Galgamak?
The Galgamak vagina is 6 feet across.
Yeah, Zach was heading up from Chicago when we started this creative retreat. And I sent him a picture. I was like, there's a massive brown recluse spider in the basement.
I'm like, I'm turning this car around right now.
Yeah. Your message was, what the fuck? It looked like my hand was crawling up the wall.
Ugh. And I don't think the picture did it justice
didn't
on
do
just
any.
how big it was, too.
And, well, it blends right into his tile. Yeah, it was bad.
Every time we go down there, I'm just like, where the fuck is it?
Yeah. So, any games today?
I don't know. You said you were going to throw one at me. I'm not freestyling. I'm going to tell you that right now.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. I guess I didn't really prepare any. Why don't we ask ChatGPT to give us
All right.
a quick little game? Cue the Jeopardy music.
What do you want to ask it?
Give me a fun challenge for my friend.
On a podcast. Let's do
It
that.
says do a handstand while squeezing Heinz mustards into your anus.
Like, I guess if the artificial intelligence tells me to, I have to do
You
it.
have to.
Oh, man.
You're gonna have hindsight for days, buddy.
No, it's telling me to freestyle.
Oh shit!
It's like, create a song in under 1 minute.
Let's not do that again. We'll do that another time.
Give me another challenge. That
I'm
is
curious to
not
see what
music related.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Got to be so specific, too.
Yeah, of course.
Certainly. Here's a fun challenge for your friend. Rapid fire trivia. I can't prepare this.
Okay, I can try.
Okay.
All right, question 1.
Mm.
Who wrote Breaking Bad?
Vince Gilligan.
Who wrote Better Call Saul?
Vince Gilligan.
Wrong on both.
What?
He had co-writer.
Well, everybody has
I'm
a
just
fucking
kidding,
co-writer,
dude.
you ass.
Rapid trivia. All right. Who was the president in 1903?
Jesus Christ.
Yes, it was. Actually, ding, ding, ding. Jesus Christ, everybody.
1903. Let's say.
Oh, you think
Roosevelt?
You think I know? I think it was Grover Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Alpeda. Who wrote Family Guy? Who
Not Seth
writes Family
MacFarlane.
Guy? It wasn't?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I think he's more of like a creative director.
That makes sense.
Characters created by
Character. Okay. Man, that's a hard one to put on me.
Trivias.
Yeah, I was like, who painted the Mona Lisa?
Oh God, was it Da Vinci?
I don't know.
I think it was Da Vinci.
No, I'm kidding. It was.
I mean, and
painted-
that's one of those
who
ones where it's like,
painted this-
I know it's Da Vinci, but I also don't know if it's Da Vinci.
Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm stupid today.
Here, how about this?
All right, yeah, that was tricky.
Give me 10 trivia questions.
Dinger. That's good. Yeah, I like that.
And
can both
the
try to answer.
answers.
Do bad do do bad do. Do
Although I'm gonna see the answers.
You can ask me. I asked you enough questions.
Who directed the movie The Shawshank Redemption?
I don't know.
Eh. Which country won the 2018 FIFA World Cup?
Spain?
Wrong.
Fuck, I don't know.
Who was the first president of the United States?
do bad do bad do.
Yeah, there you go. What is the chemical symbol for the element gold?
The chemical symbol
Like on the periodic table.
for gold?
Mhm.
I don't know, actually.
Okay. Which artist holds the record for the most #1 singles on a Billboard Hot 100 chart? I don't want a lot for Christmas.
Was it Mariah Carey?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the capital of Australia?
Australia?
Mhm.
Brisbane?
Nope. Canberra.
Canberra?
I didn't even know that was a city. Who wrote the famous novel To Kill a Mockingbird?
Oh, I do know this, but I don't.
Which British band released the album OK Computer?
Radiohead?
Oh, what?
Oh.
You're just a little crybaby.
Baby.
Look at this crybaby.
We never
He's gonna
played-
cry.
We no longer play Creep. We only play 80 Joes, fucker.
What is the largest organ in the human body?
It's the skin.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, baby.
Nice. It's
Yeah.
the skin.
Wait, who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird?
Harper Lee.
That's right. Why did I want to say Robert Miller? You ever read Death of a Salesman?
Yeah.
It's a great book. Oh, that was Arthur Miller. Sorry. Have a good day, Mike. All right. Well,
Well, that was fun.
that was.
Thanks
for
Chat
tuning in.
GPT.
Yeah, thanks for guiding us through this shit show.
Next time, the whole podcast will be written by a artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
We don't need to do this anymore.
No. Well, thanks for tuning in to episode 4 of the Kang and Seabear Show.
We'll see you next time. We should probably start plugging ourselves at the end of every episode.
Yeah, I got bags of cotton, so we'll just build a bear right here. All right, guys. Signing off.